Operators of the 8th Separate Regiment of Ukraine's Special Operations Forces, SSO, reported on Telegram the destruction of 2 Russian ammunition warehouses and the elimination of 4 Russian soldiers using FPV drones. FPV operators of SSO drones eliminate Russians in the east, read the caption accompanying the video released Thursday, June 13th. The SSO reported that their drones destroyed a Russian BMP-2 infantry fighting vehicle, IFV, 2 vehicles carrying enemy personnel, and 2 ammunition warehouses. In addition, they eliminated 4 Russian soldiers and wounded another 3. The released video revealed a series of kamikaze drone strikes on Russian military equipment and ammunition depots. One of the frames captured the moment of detonation after the impact of a Ukrainian drone on the warehouse. This mission marks another achievement for Ukraine's special forces in their recently demonstrated success using FPV drones. The SSO previously reported the elimination of Russian soldiers with UAVs, as well as the destruction of various pieces of military equipment, including armored personnel carriers, tanks, anti-aircraft missile gun complexes, self-propelled artillery pieces, howitzers, mortar positions, and even TOS-1A 220mm Sol Sepyak MLRs fitted with thermobaric warheads. Speaking anonymously to Kiev Post, a Ukrainian aerial scout revealed that the basic configuration of the FPV drone they are using costs between $14,000 and $17,000, $358, $434. This stands in stark contrast to the significantly higher costs of the Russian military equipment being destroyed. FPV drones, which can drop explosives or function as one-off kamikaze drones, are causing significant damage on the battlefield. One Russian soldier even pleaded on social media for pump-action shotguns to counter Ukrainian drones, saying, "They're simply burning through us." Conversely, up to 90% of wounded Ukrainian soldiers treated at stabilization points have been injured by FPV drones or explosives dropped by Russian drones. While Ukraine was still recovering from the last stand and fall of Avdiivka in February, Russia pushed through shallow Ukrainian defenses in the area, quickly reaching Ivanivsky. The soldiers are worried that there is a realistic possibility that Russian forces could overrun the nearby villages and capture Chasiv Yar, using the heights to advance deeper into Donetsk Oblast. According to 2 mortarmen with the 710th Security Brigade of the State Special Transport Services Assault Company deployed near Ivanivska in February, their unit's infantry suffered an extremely brutal shift. Of the roughly 70 infantrymen, mostly young and inexperienced, deployed to a trench just outside the village, about 80% were either killed or severely wounded within 4 days, according to one of the 2 mortarmen, named Dmitro. A wave of first-person view, FPV drones, inflicted heavy damage as soon as the company reached the trench, making it impossible to hold on to the position. According to Dmitro, the Russians soon captured the position and entered Ivanivsky with no direct combat. Ukrainian mortar and artillery positions would come under heavy fire and were deprived of the much-needed fire support. FPV drones have been a game-changer in combination with ground assaults, allowing the Russians to advance sometimes, without relying on infantry similar to Moscow's triumph over the 7/10th's position outside Ivanivsky. If an FPV tries to fly to you once, twice, or 3 times and it falls, Russian troops begin working with something more serious, such as mortars or artillery, Dmitro added. And it's whether you will be lucky or not, if it will kill you or not. Ukraine and Russia's increased reliance on FPVs is transforming warfare, with both sides ramping up their domestic production of cheap but effective single-use drones operated via a headset. FPV drones account for about 90% of the injuries over the past half a year, according to medic Oleksiy, with the 130th Territorial Defense Brigade deployed near Chasiv Yar. Oleksiy said that FPV drones can be deadlier than artillery, because they are more precise and can directly strike the target. There is a lot more activity assembling drones on the Russian side, but who holds the advantage also ultimately comes down to the number of pilots and their skills, said Samuel Bendit, a senior fellow at the Center for a New American Security think tank. For the Ukrainian soldiers on the ground slowly losing positions, it is becoming increasingly uncertain that they could hold off the Russian offensive capability in the upcoming months. The battles for Chasiv Yar will be defined by Ukraine's ability to tackle manpower shortage, and whether Russia decides to concentrate its resources in the upcoming months, according to the US-based expert, Lee. Whether Ukraine can counter Russia's growing advantage of assembling and using FPV drones will also be a key factor.